After you have started working with Access queries and you've gone through the basic queries, quite quickly you'll come across situations where you've got duplicate results in a dataset. So take this scenario for example. Again, I'm using my DVD rentals database, and what I want to do is let's say a science fiction convention has come to town and I want to pick out any members who have ever rented out a film that's part of the science fiction category. So just taking a look at the categories table so I can pick out what the actual category string is. So it's sci-fi with a hyphen in the middle. Just need to remember that. And so I want to pick out that STR category field, and also I want to pick out the first name and last name, possibly the address and phone number of any members who have ever rented out any film as part of that category. So I can go into the Create tab, Query Design. I'll pick out all of the different tables that I need, and also any tables that are in between those tables on the relationships view. So categories is at one end, and then there's films, DVDs, rentals, and members, and that should complete a chain from one end to the other. I'll just rearrange these slightly just to show you the chain. And again, just in the previous tutorial I just talked about the importance of making sure that there's a chain between all of these different tables, but it's also important not to add in more tables than you need. So I'm going to put in SGR category here in the first column, and then I'll put in first name, last name, address and phone number in the other four columns. And the criteria is I want to get any one of these records that have sci-fi in the STR category field in the categories table. So sci-fi is how it was spelled. And let's run that and let's see what type of thing we get back in the dataset. So we're getting back something that looks good. I've got sci-fi through all my categories, but again I want to mail shot all of these different members, and I can see the same members are cropping up again and again. So I can see here Trip Fontaine is cropping up over and over again, Laszlo is cropping up again and again, and this is just by the very nature of going through that rentals table. The rentals table in the relationships view, obviously I'm going to have lots of different rentals, and members can rent out lots of different DVDs, many of which might be part of the science fiction category. So therefore, if I go back into the result of the query, I can see the result of that is that all of these records are coming back. It's showing me again and again the same members, but that's because those members have rented films repeatedly from that science fiction category. What I'd like to do now is I want to put in some setting in the query design that stops the duplication of all those records, and essentially I want to make them unique, or the word in Access is distinct. I want to have distinct or unique records in this query. So going back into the design view, it's a little bit hidden away. You would have expected it to be up in the ribbon, easy to access, because it's such a common problem that people who are designing queries need to solve. But it's actually buried away here in the property sheet of the query. So if I go into the property sheet, at the moment I'm just seeing the field properties here. I just need to click on this query out here in the query view just to get the query properties. And what I'm interested in here in particular is just this unique values. So unique values, if I go and look at the setting for that, it's set to no. I want to check that to set it to yes. And that's all I need to do. If I just click run on that query, I should see nice tidy dataset there with no duplication. So I'm seeing Jared, Keith, Kristen, Laszlo, Mary and Trip. They are all the people who have ever rented films from the science fiction category, but it's nice and tidy, and now I can just easily use that for a mail shot or a phone call or whatever it might be. And so that's getting unique or distinct records in the query view in Access 2013.